It's Sarah. You're watching my Project 7 annotated computer prototype. Alright, so this app is called In Person. I have 7 different wireframes to show you. The goal of this app is really to cut out the horrible stuff we don't like about dating apps, which is the catfishing, the constant messaging back and forth, when are we going to meet? I don't know, kind of thing. Where you're already there in person, you're able to continue a conversation with them after you meet them, but really the goal is to know who is single in a room, who wants you to come up and talk to them, and you be able to just start a connection right there. So I have 7 different wireframes. Let's start with the first one that I want to show you. Alright, here we go. Alright, just give me a second while I fix this here so you can see it a little better. Okay, so in person, make in-person connections. So here I used kind of like a periwinkle purple and a bright orange. Wanted there to be some contrast there. I was originally navy blue, but with the black it just didn't have much contrast for me to show you guys, so that is why we went with a color periwinkle, I guess. Here you will also see my logo that I had created in a different application. It's custom, says in person, make in person connections, something that kind of gets right to the point, the goal of the app. I tried to toggle with the depth here on this, but because of the contrast, you cannot see it too well, which is something that I would fix in my future prototype. And then I have 2 buttons, which if I did mess around with the depth a little more, I think you'd be able to tell that they were buttons. But yeah, sign in and create account. If you were to sign in, it would take you right to the main portion of the app, which is the live scan, which is where you're able to just scan the room, see who's available to talk to, and then chat with them, create a personal connection. Basically, it creates efficiency. Just sign in and be able to scan, kind of right to the point thing. But we are going to create an account, so I can take you through the process of how to create an account, what that entails, and kind of take you through the rest of the app. So I am going to click create account here. Here you will see my profile. You're able to add 9 photos, add information, your bio, your occupation, your social media, be able to link them, like the Instagram username kind of thing. I used a sans serif font, and I tried to like round out the corners of like these bubbles where you're able to input text to make it look neater. Try to toggle with the depth there too, so it kind of pops out kind of like, you know, how an iPhone kind of has it. On the bottom, you have a bottom navigation bar with the settings, the live scan, your profile, and the chat feature. That will stay there throughout the whole part of the app. My goal with this is to be able to add your information, add your profile photos. It will be in this order when you're able to preview the next part of it. The reason I added a preview button here is because a lot of times when you are on an app, you want to know, hey, what does my profile look like to somebody else using the app? Like some people only swipe through 2 or 3 photos. You might want to have one that's like you, one with a friend, one with you doing an activity that you like. Kind of like organize your photos. At least I know when I, like as a girl, add my profile photos and stuff, I kind of want to swipe through to see like what they would see. So that's why I added this whole preview section. It's kind of the same here, the same information that you would have added in the wireframe before this. And yeah, I added the buttons on the bottom here to kind of show, hey, swipe right to view the other photos, and I use a sans serif font. Your name would be up here, and yeah, there's like a navigation bar on the side here to kind of scroll down, because you might be able to, you know, there might be some more information on the page and stuff. So yeah, after you preview it, if you wanted to change it back, you could just add different photos, preview it again, really decide, hey, do I like this, do I not, do I want to change something, really get a feel for your profile and what other people would see. After you're done previewing your portion of the app, you would want to go to settings. So you can either get to settings here, or if you went back to your profile, you can get right back to settings here. The settings is where you would be able to see if you want notifications on for your chat feature, toggle the distance, Like if you want to see people within a vicinity of 10 feet from you or 200 feet from you. Really up to you. I also added an option for you to see like both men and women, or just men, or just women. Completely up to you, your preference. One thing that I really wanted to implement in my design that I have really liked on other designs that they didn't add a few years ago is blocked users. So if you have an ex you don't want to see on the site or on the app and you don't want him to see your profile or you don't want to see their profile, you're able to go into your contacts and add them to blocked users list. Because when you're signing up for this app, like if for security and account access, using like your email, phone number, change your password, your phone number is where you'd kind of like be able to go into your contacts and like block that person. The help section is where you go if you didn't really know how to navigate the app. So that's why I added that. One main thing that I would add here that I forgot to add is the age. I don't want some 60-year-old coming up to some 20-year-old. So I know that I would have to add like something to say like, oh, I want to view people like 20 to like 25, or if you were older, like 40 to like, I don't know, 60, something like that, something reasonable. And then also, I try to make it kind of like the settings in an iPhone. I use like the gray background and then the white with like a lighter gray, and then like contrast and stuff. So I try to like do really well with that. So it's like clear, professional, very like modern. And you can see here a lot better like that I kind of messed around with the depth. So you can see like it kind of pops out. So it's not just like flush with the back part of the screen. Kind of looks more realistic that way. And yeah, I used a sans serif font. Some of the icons here that people commonly know, blocked users. People know this is for settings and this is for like help, the notification. So I strived for consistency here. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to make sure that I added in there. And then after you're done with the user settings, you want to go to the main portion of the app, which is the live scan section. So here we are on the live scan section. This is where you would scan the room, and you would really just be able to, if you didn't like this, you could go back, you could like toggle your difference and then rescan the room. But this tells you, hey, you need to scan the room, and the profile photos would show up above people's heads, based off of how far you wanted to see people in the room. Like, this would be good for like if you were in a club, crowded bar, something like that. This right here is really something that I added for feedback. So if the camera was having difficulty, it would say like the camera isn't working, or if there were no profile photos around you and you thought, hey, like why am I not seeing anybody? It's because nobody has the app around you, but you would want to know that. So that's why I added this space for feedback. Another very important part about this that I wanted to add in my app, I know this is white, but in my design it would be green or red, signifying, hey, green, I want people, or I'm welcoming people to come up and approach me and talk to me. And red, hey, I'm talking to somebody may have already approached me, or I just don't want to be approached right now. Maybe later they'll turn green, but that way you kind of know and can save yourself the embarrassment. I approached somebody that didn't want to be approached, or oh, I interrupted somebody's conversation. So yeah, here we will go and click their profile. So this is the profile. It's kind of like the same that we had filled out before for ourselves. The name clearly displayed in a sans serif font, dark text. And then here you're able to swipe right to view their photos that they have added themselves, view their bio, their occupation, see their social media accounts. I know me, for one, I view their profile, immediately go look them up on Instagram or try to find their Instagram just to kind of view their other photos. So I think like that's really helpful. And yeah, so the navigation bar stays the same. This actually all works as well. And then if you really like them, or if say you didn't like them, you wanted to go back, adjust settings, you could, but we like her. So we're going to click there. We want to decide, hey, do you want to chat with them or not? And we are going to chat with them. So now we're brought to the messaging portion of the app. My last wireframe 7. And here you'll be able to clearly see, hey, this is who we're talking to, the girl that was on the profile photo. Her photo's still there, consistency. The photo is also here, so you know that's who you're talking to, kind of added that for detail. Their name is clearly displayed. And then down here, it is a prompt to write something, type something out, and then click send. Here, my intention for this button was like in a normal iPhone, you're able to add a GIF, add a photo, add like a link or whatever. Here you're able to add that in the chat here. And then I also wanted to make sure the chat is organized. So like Monday at 10:40 a.m. That's like when they texted like they missed them last night, missed connection, so they want to be able to catch up with them. Now this section, you're only able to message people that you were in the same vicinity of, room of, that you had the option to go and talk to them, or if you were there before, you probably would meet up again there, something like that. Basically, you're not able to message anybody that you were not in the same room of, or, you know, saw their profile, or were within distance where you could have gone up and introduced yourself. And the cool thing about this as well, also, I'm not sure, I wanted to add that you can kind of see like the chat bubbles popping up, kind of like on the iPhone. That was kind of cool. Able to scroll through this as well. But also, I wanted to add that I actually made this chat button here down in the corner. I know a lot of these components were given to us, but this one was actually not. I could not find a chat button, so I actually created it myself. You can actually like make your own kind of icon and really just toggle with the shape and really create your own. So I try to create them kind of like the same, so it's like consistency, same size, same color. But yeah, that's kind of what I followed for this one down here. It was a little bit difficult, but I'm really glad that I learned it. So I really was happy with how it turned out. But yeah, that is the whole app. All of these buttons do work. So you're able to go back to your profile, preview it. If you wanted to go to settings, you could go there, then go back to your live scan. Here, if you wanted to go back to your settings, this button I kind of had connected to like the settings, just because like I wouldn't have been able to, if it was a back button, I wouldn't have been able to predict if somebody else used my prototype, like where they went. So I made it settings. And then yeah, so that is my full app. Thank you for, you know, viewing in person, make in-person connections. And yeah, any feedback is very much appreciated. Really appreciate you staying for the whole thing.